So this is what I'm going to tell you guys. This is my disclaimer for the night. This call is actually 2 calls in 1. So in the chats, tell me, do you feel like you are a beginner with Insta Stories, okay? Or do you feel like you're a veteran that just needs to get better, okay? So I need to know what side of the spectrum you're on. Like a beginner, you are just really needing to learn the ins and outs, and then veteran, like I just need to learn how to get better at it, okay? So I'm gonna give my big disclaimer. If you are truly a beginner, the second half of this call is going to hurt your brain, and I will not take offense to you hopping off the call. I know you want to stay on and gather information, but I'm going to ask everybody, I'm giving you permission right now. When we get to the second part, and I'm going to tell you when it comes, I'm going to say, if your brain is already hurting because you're a beginner and I've already given you 10 things you need to work on, you have permission to hop off the call. I don't care if half the people hop off the call. This call is being recorded, okay? So you can always come back and watch the second half once you apply what happens on the front end. What I don't want is for you to watch this and I'm literally giving you, I say 16, I'm giving you about 60 tips for Insta Stories, I swear to God. It's gonna make some of your brain hurt, okay? And especially for those beginners who are like, I haven't even mastered just the basics of stories right now. So I give you permission. If when I get to the point, like this is your moment, if you're like, I've got what I need, because that's the most important thing about coaching calls and coach charges and national wake-up calls is for you to grab what you need and run with it. The worst thing you can do is get paralyzed. Ignorance on fire is 1,000,000 times better than knowledge on ice. You could watch this whole thing. You could learn all 60 things, but if it overwhelms you and it paralyzes you and you stop, then everything I did today, because literally all I did today was make this PowerPoint. I sacrificed talking to about 20 people for my own good and for my own business to make this PowerPoint for you, to make this training for you. I will have taken time away from my family, time away from my kids, time away from everything for you, and it will all be lost if you don't apply it. And I'm not saying that as a guilt trip. What I'm telling you is take what you need from it. Please, I'm begging you. So can we all in the chats tell me, like I'm going, if I feel overwhelmed halfway through, I pinky promise to remove myself and just go apply what I've learned. Can I see it? Just load the chats out right now. Can I see it? Can I see it? Can I see it? Pinky promise? Yeah. So here we go. Dun, dun, dun. And what I'm going to do for this first half, just wanted you guys to know, I'm going to be creating a video of just the first half of this, which is the Instagram Stories 101. And then we're going to have this available in the main TTF page and in my own coach family page for you guys to share with your new coaches. So that this is how I will be training moving forward my new coaches to do Instagram stories until things change, right? So I want to obviously give this is my gift to you guys, something I'm going to be using, and then I obviously want and allow you guys, we'll give you a Dropbox folder, you'll have the authentic video to be able to share, put on your own pages and all of that kind of stuff for you to use. So without further ado, let's see if I can put this into, oh, geez. I do this every time. Slideshow. Okay. Oh, geez Louise. Presenter. Oh, I'm so scared. I'm so scared. Can we see it? Oh, it's not doing it. There we go. That's presenter view. That's absolutely not what I wanted to do, but we're not going to do this because I don't like that at all. Okay. We're just going to roll with it this way. Can you see my screen? Big thumbs up. Big thumbs up. Anybody? 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 Yeah. So first and foremost, write this down. I have to make my stories a story. What many of you are doing is just like vomit. I love you, but I went and looked at your stories and like it's not a story. People don't know what's happening in your life. It's like, they don't know if they're watching the morning or the night. They don't know what's happening. So what I want to do today is obviously help you make your stories into a story. So moving on to the next slide. Why use stories? This is super important for me. First and foremost, I love Cam Jam. I love him so much. You're bringing people into your world. not just to your fitness journey, into your world. Now, this may change in the future, but right now, the best way to build trust and build rapport is through stories. Whether that's stories on Instagram, obviously this can translate into stories on Facebook if you wanted to share them over there, but this is your chance to bring people into your world. And that's Cam Jam, but that's also my own journey, right? Think about this. When you become a coach, you have the ability to have a warm market. Do we know what a warm market is? It is your family and friends, people that you have already met or know. So when you first become a coach, that's who you're helping. You're helping the people that you already know. I believe you don't become a true Beachbody coach, a virtual coach, until you help somebody you've never met in person before. Until somebody that has stumbled across your Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube, wherever you are, they find that, oh my gosh, you're inspiring. They see you as an influencer and then say, I want to join you even though I've never met you before. That is can you tell me in the chat, has that happened to you? And how does that feel? Like, be honest with yourself, because to me, that was the best feeling ever, right? And so what Instagram, I wish, Brent says it every day, I wish that people could have seen me in the grind. In 2013, 14, and 15, when I was grinding it, paying off the debt, doing all the things, like, I wish I had stories to be able to share the hustle. I didn't have that, but you do. And it's like, people always say the game's different now, right, than it was 10 years ago when I did it. Yeah, but I think it's better because you have stories. You literally have your own reality TV show that many of you aren't taking advantage of. And I just pray that today you realize that you get to bring them into your world, that you get to make them, like, turn them from a cold contact, meaning somebody you've never met before, into a warm market, somebody who trusts you, somebody who believes in you, somebody who wants to do this with you. And most importantly, write this down. The reason why you use stories is because you have them take action on things you want them to take action on. Okay, so this could be for many reasons. It could be like a clothing company wants you to buy their cute leggings, right? You're taking action on what they want you to take action on. Well, you as a coach have the ability to say, are you ready to join us? But many of you just do your stories and you never ask them to take action. And I'm like, why are you even doing stories? You're missing it. Like, you're missing it. So I hope today, as we go through this, I really, really, really do hope that you understand why, but you also remember that Instagram stories is your brand. I teach you in the first 30 that you need to have a color wheel. I've taught you in our social media training that you need to have a color wheel. And I will post in our event page, one of the coach charges that was our social, going back to basics, like social media basics, that has this color wheel and everything a part of it. But like, this color wheel should be everybody's color wheel except for the your interest part. Everybody in their Instagram story should be talking about objections, meaning you're overcoming the price objection, you're overcoming the time objection, you're overcoming the objection of working out from home. You're talking about why you were scared to start, but so thankful that you did. You're overcoming the objections about Shakeology every week in your stories. You're talking about your journey every week in your stories. You're sharing workout videos every week in your stories, transformations of yourself and other coaches in your stories, shareables, which we'll talk about using polls and questions to ask people to engage, calls to actions happening every week, sharing about the community every week, being a Fitspo, fitness inspiration every week, sharing about your family. Are you getting the point? Every week, nutrition. Every week, this coach life, this, what you're doing right now, learning, growing, checking in on your groups. Like, all of those things are every single coach should do. And then what makes you stand out is your interests. Okay? And we've talked about this. And it's something that you need to know. What makes you you? If I started, I don't even know, talking about horses, like, people would be like, what is she doing? That's not what she does. She's over here blasting music, having dance parties, showing her babies, and like this whole mom life. And she loves, like, that's what she's doing. Like, I live in that. My interest is mom life right now. I don't really have a lot out of it other than my nails, which are a hot mess. But you get the point. Like, there are going to be 2 or 3 things that make you you, and then you share the rest of this color wheel. Your stories are your brand. It's not just a haphazard, like, that you do it with purpose. So ways to use Insta stories. First and foremost, the best case scenario, if every day you could show a day in the life, that's how you use stories. Now, I'm in a season of my life where, like, there are 5-hour stints where I don't know what just happened, nor do I even know where my phone is, okay? So, like, be okay with that, because sometimes it's just a highlights of my day. Because the truth is, for at least 3-hour stints, I've lost my phone, and you don't know my day in the life, and I don't even know what's happening in my life. But I at least have a flow from morning to evening, right? But it's just the highlights of my day. It's not the cracks, it's not what I consider the boring stuff. It's just the highlights, like pop, 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 and then let's start over. Behind the scenes of your posts, because some of you create really awesome posts. Like, you take your kid, I'm just going to use this because we're coming up on October. October is my birth month, and I love October, and I love pumpkin patches, right? You do a simple picture that's a pumpkin patch. But your post is like the behind the scenes of the pretty picture that landed on your feed, right? Like, it's the behind the scenes of the simple picture that you made, but it's all the good stuff that happened to create that. That can be a part of the day of the life, but sometimes when you just want to be with family, like yesterday, I don't know if you saw my stories, which I'm okay if you didn't, but Tegan we went through baby dedication yesterday. The only thing in my post was baby dedication. I did a post about it, and then, like, the only thing my story was like what happened that morning, and my phone was away the rest of the day. And there's nothing wrong with that. It was just behind the scenes of the one big thing that happened that day, and that's all I posted. That's okay. The other thing that's okay is a teaching tool. There may be a day where I only teach about diastasis recti. I don't show the day in the life. I don't show highlights. I'm not showing a behind the scenes of my post. I'm just saying, like, everybody's asking me about how to test for diastasis recti. So my stories all today are going to be teaching you how to do this, and then obviously giving them a call to action of some sort to learn more. So the big thing is, like, there's no right or wrong way. It's just about being consistent with it, right? I think a lot of times we get overwhelmed with it because we're like, I'm such a season of life that's so busy. Fine. In those busy seasons, do behind the scenes, or in those busy seasons, just do quick highlights. But you can't, and I've told you this over and over, you can't live in a hot mess forever. There has got to be moments where you truly share how you fit coaching into your life. There's got to be moments where you truly share how you fit healthy nutrition into your life. There's got to be moments when you truly share what the virtual gym experience looks like. There's got to be those moments where you give your stories all you've got. It doesn't have to be every day, but when I talk about day in the life, it's general day in the life, right? It's also meal plan day in the life. You better be writing this down, okay? It's also your virtual gym or boot camp or whatever you want to call it, what your challengers go through, what your customers go through on their day. They wake up, they check into that, but you tell your people, today I'm giving you experience of what it looks like to be in my virtual gym. Today I want to show you guys how I fit coaching into my life. I get questions about this all the time. Today I just want to, just show you the mayhem of what is the Upham Casa de la Upham, right? And I just share it to them. But I just hope that you guys see this and realize that there's not a one cookie cutter way of doing this. It's about what feels right for you in the season of life that you're in. But I do want to show you this, and you can take a screenshot of it. You can write it down. If I could wave my magic wand and say, do this every day. Do this every day. And I promise you, you will see success. This is the thing, okay? Now you have to do this your own way. You have to get creative with it. You have to have fun with it. But daily life is like me in the morning with no makeup, still in my pajamas, one eye halfway closed, sipping my coffee, talking about either what the night was like with Tegan or my miracle morning or something that I want to share. But I have daily life, and it doesn't have to be in this order. It can be in any order. But just check these boxes off, like a workout clip, at least one, right? You using a product, Energize, Shakeology. You don't have to be kissing a Shakeology cup. You could be talking about how you're on the go somewhere, but be also making a shake, right? Daily life again. There should be multiple daily lives, because I think what happens is a lot of you are just doing your fitness posts in your stories, and that's it. And then people think your whole life is fitness. For the longest time, everybody just thought that I worked out as my job. That's all I did. And I'm like, no, you're missing it. You're missing it. So notice that there's 4 different moments of daily life, which is your work. It could be animals, your doggies, cats, whatever's going on. It could be your kids. It could be how you relax, right? It could be your spouse, significant other. So you talk about your groups. So whether you're promoting your virtual gym, you talk about that group. If you're talking about a sneak peek, you talk about that group. If you're talking about coaching and inviting to the This Is Us group, you talk about that group. Whatever you're promoting at that moment, you talk about what you're doing, the people in it, that kind of stuff. And like when I was in the zone, and I think a lot of you guys are worried about over-inviting. If you watch Raina Odell, Raina versus Food, she invites every day. It can be a simple post that just says like, swipe up to join us, or it could be a long invite, but she invites every single day. And when I was leading up to having Tegan and I needed to hit Success Club, I swear to goodness, for 2 weeks, every day in my stories, I invited every day. And if I were trying to quit my full-time job, if I were trying to pay off debt, if I were trying to make this business a full-time business, I would be inviting in my stories every mother trucking day, figuring out how to get creative with it. Like every day, every single day. I don't know why you're not doing it. Maybe you're scared of what people will think of you, but I promise if they don't want to have anything to do with it, they'll tap forward or they'll swipe through it. But somebody has to see an invite almost 7 times before they say yes. Why are you scared to post it? Come on now. So doing a call to action, that's what CTA is, call to action, or a poll that invites them to something to take action on every day. Daily life, the hustle at night, tell them what you're doing, and then some more of the daily life. Like your goal should be 10 plus stories a day. Okay, so I hope that as I give you that, it helps. Please let me know in the chats, because I was trying to figure out and like what if I could create like what you need to do in your stories. Like this would be it. This would be it. And making it different and fun and changing it up and having personality to it, but that would be it. So if I could give you guys my Instagram basics for those of you who are brand spanking new to this and just feeling like I don't know where to start, I don't know what to do, I'm gonna give you 10 things that I hope you take home, I hope you just grab hold of and run with, and just believe in the power of stories. I have changed my business, barely hitting Success Club 5 to hitting Success Club 20, 30 plus. Every single month, including the months I was 9 months pregnant, not able to work out and eating like crap. The months that I was 1 month postpartum, not able to work out. All of those things, it happened because I did these basics. Not the fancy stuff, these things, okay? Number 1, remembering photo basics. Photo basics, I'm gonna stop my share real quick. You see this thing called a lens? Okay, I'm about to get really, I don't know the word right now. Annoying, probably. But this lens right here, there's fingerprints all over it. Also, on my phone up here, there's fingerprints. Look, I'm putting them all over it. When I'm on it, there's fingerprints. When I'm doing stories, when I'm holding it, there's fingerprints. And then all of y'all take stories, and it looks like you're in a cloud. Why does it look like you're in a cloud? Because there's grease on your camera. You just take your I'm about to do it. Wipe the lens. Before every picture, we wipe the lens. Whichever side you're taking the picture on, wipe the lens. You have to do that. Like that. Everybody's like, how are your stories so pretty? How are your I wipe the lens and I find the light. The light is found in 3 places. This is about to get quite comical. Place number 1 is found in front of a window. Now, notice, there's a window back there. I would never stand with a window behind me to take a picture, ever in my life, because it's dark. It's called being backlit. I would stand with a window in my face. The second thing is the sunlight. If you're outside, even if it's cloudy, find the sun. Because if you're facing the sun, you're gonna have light on your face. If you're facing away from the sun, it's gonna be blurry, dark, and backlit. But the other thing is if it's at night and you're trying to figure out what to do, anybody know the refrigerator trick? Anybody know? Anybody? Come on. I'm looking at the chats, hoping that somebody says, yes, Allie, I know the refrigerator trick. Jessica just said yes. Somebody in the chats tell me what the refrigerator trick is. Open the doors of the fridge. I swear I've done this more times. And my sister walked downstairs one morning when I was doing it because my old house had crappy lighting. I opened the fridge. The light from the fridge was so great. It was my selfie light. Okay? Like the fridge is my selfie light. Like I'm not playing around. If you see the kitchen behind me, it's because the fridge is being my selfie light. Megan's dying. I swear to goodness, it's the original ring light. It really is. If you are like, I don't know how to take, like it's so dark in my house, I really want to do a story, just go sit in the floor in front of your freaking fridge and take selfies or take a story. Your family will think you're absolutely crazy. A lamp will also do, but you have to find the light. People are like, why are my stories, they don't look good? Or why do my stories not look appealing? And it's simply because you have not wiped your lens and you haven't found the light. Every time I'm giving this to a new coach of mine and I tell them what they need to do, I'm like, those are the only two things. Everything else I could care less about. So photo basics, wipe your lens, find the light. Don't overdo the filters. Okay, this is about to get funny. I love you guys. If every single one of your stories has a filter on it, I'm out. People want real. They want real. I know you look like a train wreck. I get it. I'm on very minimum hours of sleep. Some nights I get full nights. Some nights I'm like every 2 hours. Like who knows what's happening with my life. Of course I'd love to have sunglasses over my eyes or hearts over my eyes to cover the circles. But people want to see the real me. Not the me that has glitter on my eyelashes or fake eyelashes on or a funny sparkly filter around me, because that's not real. Like you get to do this every once in a while, but you cannot have a filter on every single story unless, I'm about to teach you, you use the subtle filter. Please, have anybody use the subtle filter? Everybody's like, why are your teeth so white, Allie? Allie, why do you look like you have no circles under your eyes? Allie, it doesn't tell you that there's a filter on your thing. You must not be using a filter for whatever reason. Instagram does not, on every other filter, it tells the people on the other end watching that there's a filter on your Instagram, except for when you use that purple one with the sparkles. Because it's just, if you are like, I look so awful, I need a filter. Don't go put glitter everywhere. Don't go use the spaceship for like all your stories where it's like circling around and there's stars shooting out. Like go use the subtle filter. I swear it'll make you look like you're refreshed and revived and it'll make your hair look shiny, but like it's still giving people a sense of real, okay? Like trust me, people don't see me in the morning without a subtle filter on. Like I'm just being real. When you see me in the morning, you're like, dang, how she looks so good in the morning. I don't wake up like this. I use the subtle filter every morning in my stories. So please, for the love, do not overdo filters. You get to use them for fun. They're accessories. They should not be the whole deal, okay? The next thing, use features to engage, okay? So people, I've heard them say, and I need to make sure I manage, hold on, I need to mute everybody. Dun, dun, dun. There we go. But people always say you can have a following. There's people who have followings of 20,000, 30,000 people who follow them, but they don't engage in what they're doing. They make posts and nobody comments. And you'll see this on some big things. If you go look at my post tonight, I have like 50 or 60 comments. Why? Because I've created a community of people that are helping me as much as I'm helping them. So in your stories, you create polls. This is not a call to action poll. This is like, do you like NSYNC or Backstreet Boys kind of a poll, okay? You can vote in the chats. I'm cool with that. I'm totally an NSYNC girl. Hey, but like funny things that make you you. Like, would you wear black leggings or would you be the one that wore like the crazy pink unicorn ones? Like, are you black or like black leggings or like crazy leggings? Like, which ones are you? So you can do fun polls that get people engaging, because when they're engaging, they're watching. Ask questions. That just like in your post, you want to be like, it's called shareables, meaning you want to ask them something that you could simply ask on Google, but instead you ask them. So you ask them to post something. So I'll be like, give me your suggestions for, I don't know why I'm stuck on leggings, for maternity leggings. So the questions box on Instagram where it says questions doesn't have to be where they ask you a question. You could ask them one and they engage with you. Of course you could do an ask me anything and that's totally fine. But at the end of the day, use questions. If you have something big coming up, not just fitness big, like if you have a huge exam that you're preparing for, like a master's thesis or something that you've got going on, something with your big girl job, something going on with your kids, use the countdown and let people be a part of that journey until that day comes. The emoji slider, you can change that emoji from the circle with the heart eyes to anything. And it's like, how much do you love this? Again, they're engaging. There's a quiz that they need to be engaging, right? Like you're trying to make your stories a story. And at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you use the features to engage your people, right? So we've gone through 1 through 4. Number 5 is make a daily thing that you do. To you, that's like, I'm doing the same thing every day and this is so boring. It's not. It's proving to your followers that you're consistent. Raina Odell has this thing where she takes a picture of her outfit of the day and she does this little leg twitch. Okay, she does it every day, but in a different outfit. Okay, like I'm not the best at this, but like I really try to do my morning stories. People can depend on Christy Marshall to be up at 5 a.m. doing her morning Insta stories. Like they know she's gonna be there. It's the thing, like she's there daily except on the weekends, right? So think of that thing. It could be like when I first started, it was my coffee mugs. Every morning I did a coffee mug with a motivational quote. It could be a move of the day. What's something that excites you? It doesn't even have to be fitness. It's just like, is it fashion that excites you? Is it your dogs like, what is it that excites you? And then like do something daily, same thing every day, kind of like Groundhog Day. But it really becomes your niche and people show up because they can get used to seeing that. And number 6 and 7 are really important to me. If you're gonna sit there and just talk, because if you hold that thing down or do hands-free, you can just talk for like 5 minutes on stories. Nobody's gonna watch it. 45 seconds, 3 stories or less. If you're going, I will literally say I'm about to go on a rant if I'm gonna go more than 3 stories. I literally write that in my thing because I want them to know I'm about to talk for 6 or 7 stories, which means for almost 2 minutes, you're gonna have to listen to me complain or tell you something. But normally, if you watch my stories, I never talk for more than 3 stories because people typically do not watch more than 3 stories. The same thing happens for your workout clips. Unless there's something really huge going on, a launch or something going on with your own fitness journey, a victory that you had, I don't do more than 3 workout move clips. Like 3, like 45 seconds of workout moves. Nobody, my mom is like, I just skip through it. And my mom loves me. If my mom loves me and she won't even watch my workout clips, I don't need 5 of them. I just need to prove that I'm showing up every day. Okay, which is freeing because some of you are doing 5, 6, 7, 8 clips, and like you can save so much time in your life by not doing that. Okay, keep it interesting. And I wanted to show you this video clips, pictures, boomerangs. I'm going to share with you 2 things. So hold on, let me see if this will work. I think I missed one at the top. Hold on. Here we go. Dun dun dun. First, I want to show one of the things I talked about, which was keep your fonts and GIFs simple. I didn't go over this one. I was going to show you guys this. I have 3 examples. I have Brittany Leggett, who's one of my like besties in this business. Stephanie Chico, who I just adore because she's too good. I could never be as good as her, but she's great at this example. And then our own Kanoa, because I just love her. I love her stories. Every day I watch them. But if you look at Brittany's, oh, mother trucker, I have to log in as Brent and I'm not logged in. Okay, I can't log in. I'm not there yet and I'm not even gonna go there. But if you go to Brittany's page, okay, go to Stephanie Chico's page. Oh, stop share. Go to Stephanie Chico's page, go to Kanoa's page and look at their stories and look at their fonts that they use. And I will even put their screen names on our event page. But also like look at how they use the GIFs, like GIFs, like they're not all over the place. Do you know what I mean? And I think that that's super important. It's like, just make sure that like you're not overdoing it. And I think that that's super important. When you look at those 3 people, it's going to free you up so much because you're like, oh, I don't have to write that much. Oh, I don't have to like overdo it. And I think that that is something that's huge. So I'm going to try to log in real quick and see if it will let me log in. Dun, dun, dun. Switch accounts. My name. I want to show you mine for something real quick. Hold on. I need to not say my password out loud because I just almost did. Share screen. Dun-dun-dun. Is it letting me? No, it's thinking. Why are you thinking? Do not save my password. There we go. Ah, golly gee, I quit. I quit. Nobody can see it. Okay, they're thinking I'm fraud. What is going on? Okay, so my stories. I use, if you go watch them, I use video, meaning I literally will do like my workout videos is what I wanted to show you. I talked in my stories for 2 stories. Then I did a video of my view. Okay, so this is like, it's about variance. It's talk. Hi, I'm talking to my camera. Now I'm gonna show you my view, and I showed my gym. You've gotta go from this is my face to this is my view. Okay, this is my gym that I'm doing, right? Then I showed one regular workout video, just like a normal 15-second clip. Then I did what they call a time lapse. Okay, like a 15-second time lapse. That means it goes super quick. It just shows like me doing 15 minutes in 15 seconds. And we're gonna talk about an app that will help you do that. So you do that, and then I literally did a picture. So do you see how it's like different things? It's a video, a time lapse, a boomerang, a picture. I'm talking, my view, a time lapse. It's nobody's gonna just watch you talk to the camera all day. Nobody's just gonna watch you showing, like they wanna see, it's a reality show. So it's about keeping it interesting, and I swear I wish I could show you, but I have to be on Brent's computer, and I had this all planned out, and I didn't think it was gonna be that hot mess express to be able to show you Instagram. But obviously that's why Instagram's done on your phone and not on a computer. So keep it interesting, and then it doesn't have to be in real time. This is something that's important to me. It does not have to be in real time. What this means is I love to be present with my kids. I'm gonna get super emotional about today. Did anybody see my stories today? Like, Camden is going to preschool. And I know some of you had to send your kids off to kindergarten or to college, but to me, like 2 days of him leaving and being away from me, I'm like, I don't know how to handle this. And I was super, super hormonal. Do you think that I just walked around, took pictures, was standing there doing stories out in front of the school? No, no. I very rarely do anything in real time. If I'm doing my morning stories, I do them in real time. But my workout stories, I don't do in real time. I want to enjoy my workout. I'm gonna stop my share. I want to enjoy my life while also sharing my life. What that means is I do my workout and I take some clips. And when I'm nursing Tegan in one of my next pockets of time, I then post my Insta stories. I was at Camden School this morning. I took pictures. I was so excited. I was taking videos of them walking up. I was getting emotional. My phone went away, and I enjoyed the moment and lived my life. And then in my next pocket of time, when the kids were taking a nap, I then posted my stories. You have to be super disciplined to do that. Because if you aren't super disciplined, you've taken all this video footage, you've wasted time during your day, and you've never shared it with the world. But what I love to do is it's a little delayed, so I can actually create my story during the process. Now, not everything is like that. There are many moments where I literally, look at Bridget just goes, I post my workout stories when I'm going to the bathroom. No shame in the game, Bridget. Like, it's okay to like not be attached to your phone at all times. Do you know what I mean? To be working in those pockets and be okay with that. So I hope I give you a little bit of freedom to know that, like, enjoy your life and capture date night, but then actually post it after you leave. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's okay to tell the story, but not in real time. And I also think that that's safe. And I'm going to tell you my truth, and we'll talk about geotags. But like, if I'm with Camden by myself somewhere, you surely can believe that I am not posting where I'm at in real time. Never do I ever post where I'm at with a geotag that says, come find me here at this time. Like, come find me. The only place I do that is at my hair salon. Do you know what I mean? Because I know Shar will see me and she'll come visit. But other than that, like, I don't post where I'm at real time. And that's okay, because it actually frees me up from that. And then create FOMO. The other basic is just create FOMO. When you're really excited about one of your posts that day in your group, talk about it like freely. When somebody joins you, either put them like, I'm taking on 10 people, and you put their names down. You've seen me do it. You've seen Kovacs do it. You've seen Amy do it. Like, we have these FOMO posts where we're like, we've got 10 promo codes. Like, pick one of them, your name's on it. I've got 10 spots. Put your name in it. Like, you can do one of those, or you could do like Christina Delgado does. And she actually does a post for every person that joins her fit family. Their face gets on a post, right? I don't care how you do it, but people gotta know that other people are joining you. That's how they know that you're a coach and not just a fitness enthusiast. They have to know that other people are joining you, and then they get FOMO and they're like, oh crap, there's other people joining her or him on their journey. Like, I gotta get in on that too. Maybe I should start asking some questions. So at the end of the day, this is all it takes. This right here is all it takes. There's Instagram basics that you can go through that, like, wipe your lens and find the light. Don't overdo the filters. Keep your fonts and GIFs, whatever, clean. Use the engagement tools that they give you. Make something daily that you do every day, whether it's your morning Insta stories, in your pajamas, using the subtle filter, but like going at it there, or whether it's something a little bit more creative, like have at it. Keep your talking stories to 3. Keep your workout clips to 3. Keep it interesting with diverse video footage. Remember that you get to have a life even while you're sharing a day in the life, and create FOMO for your business so that people want to be a part of what you're doing. This is the basics of Instagram stories. Can I get an amen? How do we feel? Did I make your brain hurt? How are we doing? Tell me in the chats. Dun, dun, dun. I'm not going over questions because I feel like some of the questions that you're asking are going to get answered in the next little tidbit, so I don't want to go over them. I probably will not see any of the questions that you posted above, but at the end, if we have time, I will open it up and let you ask if I don't answer it on this next tidbit. So with all of that said, if you're brand new to stories and all you need to focus on are those 10 basics, you have my permission to wave goodbye. There's 100. Do you realize for the 4th week in a row, we've broken 100? Is anybody excited about that? For the 4th week in a row, we have over 100 people. If it drops down to 50 right now, I will not feel bad about it. If you're like, Allie, that's all I needed to know, and like, I'm gonna go do those 10 things, like, I need to focus there first, leave and come back and watch the recording, and good, okay? Because, oh my gosh, I love Sarah. You have to get rid of the fear of what other people are gonna say about you. I cried. I was sitting there creating my Instagram story. I wanna tell you the truth, and like, I told Brent I'd try to get this in an hour, and I just don't know if it's gonna happen. I'm creating my Instagram story, and I found that stupidly beautiful Taylor Swift song. And I wasn't crying before I created my I cried when I was there. Nobody was following me around, capturing my tears. Do you know what I mean? Like, nobody was watching me be emotional with Camden at school. Nobody was watching me hug Brent while I was watching him play. Like, we were just living in that moment. But I was sitting there creating my Instagram stories, listening to that song, crying. Now, my initial gut reaction is, don't nobody need to see this. And then I thought, do you know how many moms are taking their kids to school today and are also crying by themselves in their house, thinking that they're crazy for crying when they really shouldn't be, because it's really awesome, but you know, and like I knew I needed to share it. Those moments when you're like, I really shouldn't share this, it's a little too much, are the moments that you should share, because it's not too much. It's actually exactly what somebody on the other end of the phone needs to see in that moment to know that they're not alone. Okay, so I hope that as you go through this, if you only listen to those basics, you cannot fear what other people are going to think of you. Because if you do, like, those people, what is that saying? They are not giving you a paycheck. Your paycheck is directly a result of the lives that you change. And on Instagram, it's the lives that you influence. You're an influencer. And so you have to use your story and your life to influence people, and like being okay with that, being okay with being emotional, being okay with sharing, protecting your family. You don't have to give all the goods, you know what I mean? Like, if your husband doesn't like to be on social, you don't have to share him that much. You know what I mean? If you want to protect your kids, you don't have to share them that much. but you do have to give a flow of your life. And I think that and not be scared of what others are going to think. So that was really, really good. So I'm going to share my screen, and we are about to move into, okay, I had a funny joke. Can I show you this? You guys are all going to laugh really hardcore. The goal was 16. I actually don't know how many tips I'm giving you. I could be giving you 26. I really don't know, okay? I'm literally just gonna word vomit everything I've got in the tank to you in the next 18 minutes. Are you ready? Everybody, are you ready? What's the answer? Tell me, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? The disclaimer is this: I'm starting slow. So I'm gonna build up I'm gonna ramp up, because some of you are beginners, so you may not even know some of these texting things that I'm gonna show you. You may not know some of the beginner hacks that I'm gonna show you. But if you're like, I already know that, just hold on, because they're going to build as we go. So texting, the text that goes on your pictures. Notice that first picture, it says indent. On the top left, you can indent your text to be on the left, the right side of the screen, the left side of the screen, centered, right? So like you don't need to move the text box around, just indent it, okay? Somebody asked, how do you change your font? It's there in the top middle where it says classic. You just click that classic, then it'll turn to typewriter, then it'll turn to neon, then it'll turn to whatever the things are, strong and that kind of stuff. So you can change the font, the top middle. You can, by the way, some of your fonts are all weird because you just let Instagram decide where your fonts go. That lever on the left side of your screen can make your font bigger or make it smaller to fit in one line. You need to use the change the side. It's this thing right here that goes up and down the side. You've got to, and if you're on your phone, go into stories and put a picture in there and indent it, put some words in there, change the font, change the size. It looks so much better when they're like, it's a line or two lines, or you're able to like, you know, put the words down the side. Like your text matters. And then a lot of people are like, how do you make your fonts the way you make it? Like, do you go and type that text in an app and then upload it? No. Do you see where it says, are you ready to join us? You want to know what I did? A space, R space, E space, 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 U space, or Y, that's a Y. I put a space between every letter and 3 spaces between the words. Now all of a sudden, the font looks different, and I didn't ever have to leave Instagram. But if I do that, Instagram's going to decide what my line is going to look like. I've got to shrink the line down using that left toolbar. But like you gotta click all the buttons. You gotta go in and play with it. How did I learn this? I didn't learn this by a webinar. I didn't learn this by a masterclass. I learned this by clicking all the buttons and doing all of the things and playing around with it and seeing what they do. Okay, so the first thing is your text, your editing, your spacing. The next is drop shadow effect. Okay, so I did this today. You can go see it in my stories. It had a little check mark and it was super cute. The not bad view is just white text written across. Then all you do is you copy the not a bad view and paste it into a separate text box, okay, and change the color. Then place that new not a bad view over top of the other one and kind of slide it down a little bit. It's called drop shadowing. So you can make your fonts. You never have to leave Instagram. Everybody's like, what apps do you use? And I'm like, there's hacks inside of Instagram to make your texts pop, okay? You don't want to do this all over your screen, but like you can do that. It's called a drop shadow, and I hope that you play around with it because every once in a while, it should not be every single piece of text because it takes too much time. But every once in a while, like today, I wanted to change the way that I said I did workout number 15. So I did it with a drop shadow effect because it just takes the same concept, me telling you that I'm done with my workout, but changes it up a little bit because the text matters. The next one, branding colors. Okay, now many of you don't necessarily have branding colors, but what you may not know, are you ready for this? If you're on your phone, go into your Instagram. Go into your stories, put a picture or video in there or something, okay? And then type on it, okay? Like literally type some words, and then I'm gonna stop my share real quick. I want you to hold down the purple button. You see the purple font button? I want you to hold it down, just hold it down. Do you see all the colors? The colors of the rainbow. Some of you are just using the colors that are in the color schemes that they give you, but you can use all the colors of the rainbow there with the fontage, just so you know. They've got a gradient in there for you guys. So that's one way to add fun color. I hope the chats are going wild saying I didn't know that that existed. So I don't know because I can't see it right now. But at the end, let me see what the chats are saying. Hold on. What are they saying? What are you guys saying? Oh, Snapdragon. Okay, yay. Okay, I taught you something. Woo, I win. The other thing that I love to do is I match my text to my GIFs or GIFs. So like today, my workout, whenever you're in your stories, again, if you have words written, if you, on the far left of the colors, it's a wand. The far left circle, it's a wand. You click that, and whatever color you put it over, your text turns that color. So in this picture, I clicked the far left color button. There's a little wand. And then I clicked this GIF, and it turned the same color, okay? Turned the same color. So I use that to help create my brand. Like I try to keep, I don't just use the colors they give me, I use it according to what extra fun thing I'm using. But the other thing I do all the time, I have my signature colors, pink and like a bluish teal, okay? This new post is my new color. This is the bluish together fit teal that I use for pretty much everything that I do. I don't use that new post. I have like that. Do you see this here? This new post GIF. I go find it. I type teal new post. Yeah, that's what I do. Teal new post in the GIFs. I put this into my picture and then I use that little wand and I find the color, right? So that my text becomes this color, and then I drag this new post thing into the trash and I don't use it. I use the same GIF every single time to get me the same color in my stories every single time, so that my stories look the same, but I'm not using that GIF in my actual stories. I end up trashing it afterwards, but I just make my color that color. So like you have a certain red that you like that's in a certain GIF, learn the name. Like when you go in to upload the GIF to your stories, learn how to find it really easily. Like I used to use Tiffany's because Tiffany teal, right? But it's a little too green teal, I don't really like it. But anyways, Tiffany's teal, I used to use that all the time. And I would pull up, there was a Tiffany's heart, and I would pull up that heart every time, match the color, and then trash the heart. So it makes it where your stories are the same. If your color that you want to use isn't in the color gradient that they give you, or it's not something that's super easy to find here, you can create a common denominator, like a GIF that you use all the time, so that your coloring stays the same. Okay, how are we doing? Good so far? Learning anything? I hope so. The next one is hashtags. Now, Brent would kill me for telling you this. I do not use hashtags for every story. I do 25, 30 stories. I wish I was that good. Not, but I can promise you when I share my story, like today, when I did my side-by-sides of my workout videos, comparing week 1 or day 1 to day 10 or whatever, I promise you I'm using a hashtag when it's like super important, or like pumpkin patch. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm using hashtags. You want to know why? Now, just because you use a hashtag does not mean that you will be put in that hashtag story. I don't know if you know, but if you were to go to hashtag breakfast and search it, there's a story for hashtag breakfast. And what they do is they feature people, tons of people, and you will get 10, 20, 110, 120, 310, 320, 3,000 new views sometimes if that hashtag uses your story, and those views become new followers. Now, it's not promised. They pick who they want, right? But if you use the hashtag, you're more likely to be put in that feed. The cool thing about hashtags and stories is you can use the big kahuna hashtags. It's not about like, let me find the one that has like 10,000 people. No, like use date night that has millions of people. Use breakfast that has millions of people. With hashtags and stories, you can use the most popular ones and it's totally fine, okay? So I try to use diastasis recti. I try to use hashtag postpartum and that kind of stuff. But many of you are using them and then they're just cluttering up your pictures. Like if you go to Brittany Leggett, you go to Stephanie Chico, you go to mine. I have hashtags in a lot of mine and you never see them. One of the ways that you can hide them is by actually, if you have a picture like this that has a like a clean background, you can turn your hashtag into the color of your background using font colors. So you type in your hashtag, just like it says here, drag across the screen until the hashtag matches the background. So you would use that wand, right? Once you're in the hashtag, you'd use the wand that would give you the color, and you find the matching color of the background, and then ta-da, no one can see your hashtag because your hashtag is the same color as your background, okay? So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it, and I don't have a picture of it, but I literally, and I'm gonna stop my share, I'm gonna show you guys how I take my hashtag, and I do this when I tag Brent too. When I tag anybody, I shrink them down. Like I literally am in my stories and I'm going like this. And I know I'm not in my stories right now, but I'm shrinking him down till he's literally, like Brent's name is the size of my pinky finger. And if you notice, you have a picture. If you go look at everybody's stories, their face is on the top left. So I take it and I drag it and I hide it on the top left behind where will be my face. I hide hashtags back there and I hide tags behind it. There's another way where you can actually slide them off the screen. So a lot of the times I can make it, if I wanted to do like 5 hashtags, because you can have up to 20 hashtags, I think, in a story, just so you guys know. So I take it and I will shrink it down and keep one finger on it and slide it off the screen. So practice it, like make a hashtag, shrink it down just a little bit till it's like, you know, a half an inch, keep one finger on it and slide it off the screen. When you do that, Instagram still recognizes it as being a part of your story. It's just hidden. So you could still show up in the hashtags stories, but you don't have your post covered in hashtags. Like I very rarely have a hashtag live on my post. Okay? And it's just because it's not aesthetically pleasing. You want your stories to be a reality show, not like a hashtag look at me. Right? Hashtag get me in your feed. It needs to be like aesthetically pleasing and not a whole lot of things to take people's attention away from what really matters. Okay, so you gotta practice hiding the hashtags. You don't have to hide them every time, but there's multiple ways to do so. We talked about this earlier. Geotags, meaning location. When I'm at Winter Garden My Gym, I'm not tagging Winter Garden My Gym because I don't want nobody to know I'm there. Okay, but I will hide the tag the same way that I just told you to hide a hashtag. So if I'm posting it after the fact, I will post the tag, but I tap it one time and make it in like see-through. Because if it's very harsh, you go to look at the geotag and not my son's face. But in here, the geotag, that My Gym Winter Garden, is very faint at the bottom. People wanted to know where we were, they could see it. But like you see Camden first, you don't see the location first. If it's white, your eyes are gonna go to the geotag, and then they're missing in the content, okay? So have it a little transparent, it really does help, or hide it. You could slide it off the screen, you could shrink it down and hide it on the top left, up here. I promise you're like, but I can see it right now. When you actually go in your stories and rewatch it, your face is gonna be in front of it, I promise you. How are we doing? How are we doing? How are we doing? Are we doing good? Are we doing good? Hurting anybody's head yet? I hope not. Create albums in your phone, okay? If you go into Instagram stories and you swipe up to put like something that's already, a picture you've already taken, okay? So I'm gonna go stop share, and I'm gonna show you this, discard. So if I'm in my stories, no, can we see it? There we go, there's you guys. I swipe up, and those are all my pictures from the last 24 hours. It says last 24 hours right here. You click that, it gives albums, 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 albums. I have albums on albums. I have Morning Meltdown Day 1 videos. So if I ever need to go back and share where I was on day 1, I just click Morning Meltdown videos, and I can upload any of these 15-second clips that I took from the first day and say, this is where I was on day 1, and this is where I am now. I'm organized. In my phone, in my albums. I have transformation photos ready to go in stories. Ready to go in a photo that says transformation IG. I have my own journey, day 1, and like all my pictures available to me there. And like I have we'll talk about this in a little bit, but I have calls to action for my virtual gyms that I don't need to recreate. I worked hard to create them. If you go watch Christina Delgado, if you go watch Monica Lopez, they kind of do the same calls to actions in their stories a couple times. And it's because in an album, they saved theirs. They worked hard. You work hard on creating a call to action in your stories. Save all of those into an album so you can do it again later. So you can post the same stories because not everybody's going to see them, right? So you create albums in your phone, and it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time. But in little cracks of time, instead of standing in the grocery store line doing nothing, pull transformation photos into one folder. Pull your day one videos into one folder, okay? So create it on your, yeah, it's actually in my iPhone. This is not in Instagram. This is, and I don't know how to do it in Android. I'm sure they've got something. But in my iPhone, actually in my photo section, so if you're in photos, at the bottom there, it says albums, okay? And then at the top of it, just like I show in the screen share, dun, 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 it literally says in this over here on the top, there's an add button. Do you guys see that? There's a little plus sign. I believe that's what it looks like. And then you would title it whatever you want to title it. And then it says, what pictures do you want to add to it? And you add them in. And then whenever you have a new picture, you just click, hold on, let me see what it says. There is the send to button on the bottom left. I can send to an album, and I can send it down here into one of my albums on the bottom. So you have to play around with it. You got to learn your phone, but I'm telling you, this helps me huge. I have a whole album of team pictures. So anytime in my stories, I need to just share community. Like I have an album for that, right? And it really does help you because many of you have full-time jobs, and that's something that really does help the cause, okay? People are not seeing your posts right now. It's just the name of the game on Instagram. You have to, every single time you share a post on your page, like on your feed, like an actual post with a picture, immediately click add, like click on the little arrow button. It's underneath your picture. There's a little arrow because it's like send to, right? Click the arrow and then you add post to your story. Now what's really cool, on the top of your story, you'll be able to add a filter behind it. Don't just take the filter they give you. Click the little filter, the face with the glitter on the top. Click the filter button and choose the filter that you want to go behind it. Go try that. Go share a post. You can change the background behind your post. I could have behind that post be blue. I could have behind that post be sparkles. I could have behind that post be white. I could have behind that post be this beautiful little pink gradient because I knew I wanted to put the pink new post here, okay? But every time, you don't want them to be able to see the picture. You want them to go to your feed to see the picture. And what I always do is I type out a little bit about what it's about. So this was a new post. In 6 weeks, I only lost 6 pounds. And people are gonna be like, what? I've watched her work out every day. She only lost 6 pounds? What is this about? And they're gonna go look at my post. And that my post will get like 10 to 12 likes. And then I'll post it in my stories and I'll get like 500 almost immediately. Because people see your stories populate, but they don't necessarily see your new posts. So every time you make a post, you share it in your stories. That's my honest to God opinion. Another hack or tip, which many of you know, but I'm gonna share. When you have this ask me anything, or like if you wanted to do ask me a nutrition question, or ask me, you'll see a lot of coaches go like, ask me any questions you have about coaching, and I'll answer them here. And people are like, they don't ask me anything. Well, go back and you rewatch your stories, then you can ask yourself, you literally just type in that box. You can type your own questions and answer your own questions, girl. You can go in, dude, whoever, you know, chick, dude, whomever. You can go ask yourself your own questions. So if you wanted to do a day in the life of coaching, you could literally be like, what made you decide to become a coach? How hard is it to fit in coaching while working a full-time job? I'm considering doing this, but I have a newborn. Do you think I'd be okay? I'd really love to be a coach, but I'm not at my goal weight. Like, is that cool? How much does it cost to be a coach? You can ask yourself your own questions. You just go rewatch your stories and type the question into the box. And then you can answer your own questions. So don't ever forget that. Now, this is from Amy Grosso. Please, you have to go practice this. I screwed it up at least 5 times today. I was trying. If you go watch my stories, I did a progression. And we call it tap, tap, tap. So it's one picture for the background, And then the text, it's like one story has text, but it's too much to put like text through the whole page. So I did like this little black piece, and then I answered the question. And then I did another little black piece, and then I answered the question. It's called the tap, tap, tap. So what normally happens is you have to write your text, you have to save the picture, then it's in your camera roll, you'll swipe up, you put the picture back in there, you type some more text. You save the picture, you post it, you know what I mean? And it takes forever. Well, what Amy taught us is if you type your text, okay, then you go down and you click send to. Not your stories, which is where it's your shortcut. You go click send to, and then you go click share on your stories. Wait for it to say done, and then click this back button, and it goes back to the screen. You never have to get out of it. It just goes back to the screen, and I typed these words in. He's starting preschool. It's a program for 2 years. Then I went and I clicked down send to, and then I clicked share to my stories. I didn't click done, I clicked back, and it went back to the screen, and I was able to type some more into it. It saves so much time. I was like, Grasso, you're a genius. I had no idea this existed. But like, if you ever want to write on your picture, but you don't want to write forever and forever, this is one way it took me a little bit of time because your natural reaction isn't to do that. I screwed it up a couple times, but I swear it works. And if you need to come back and rewatch this, or try it right now, whatever. But it's a great way to add text in sequential order on your stories. Okay, last one. Apps to play around with. Now, do I expect you to go download all of these? No, and dear Lord God, I pray you do not. But I want you to pick a couple of the things that I've taught you today and apply them in a way that you feel you need. I think a lot of times we think we need all of the things. Remember what I told you. What you really need to make stories work are those Instagram basics. That's it, the 10 Instagram basics. This is just to spice it up. This is just to, once you get a rhythm down, add a flair every once in a while. My stories are very much the same. And then every once in a while, I add pizzazz and then I just go back to the same routine because it's easy, right? Then I add something and I go back. So I'm gonna share a few things that we've collected through some of our leaders that you can most definitely play around with. So hyperlapse, if you go watch Amy Grasso's stories, she will just videotape her whole workout. For up to 45 minutes, you can just let your camera capture you inside of this app. And then it will condense that 45 minutes into 15 seconds. It will condense 20 minutes into 15 seconds. So on a phone, you could do time lapse, but you can't control if it goes into 15 seconds or not. On hyperlapse, you can 2x it, 3x it, 6x it, and get however long your workout is into 15 seconds, into 30 seconds, into whatever you want it to do. So it's a great way to change up your workouts and do a time lapse if you'd like. Hype type is what Jatana Jackson uses to put moving words over videos, okay? So it's called like Hype Up Your Stories. It's automatically styled, meaning there's already pre-templates, designed motion typography, meaning words. Do not use this too often because it's kind of like using too many words, but every once in a while, if you want to spice up your stories, you could do this and it's available to you. Over and word swag are how your leaders write words that don't look like Instagram fonts onto their pictures. Okay, like when we're doing our calls to actions and stuff and we want to do like actual Instagram pictures, like a size picture and it's us looking all cute and then it has like words. And like, where do those words come from? They came from Over or Word Swag, just letting you know. And you create the pictures outside of Instagram and then upload them into Instagram. I personally use PicFrame, and that's because I love to take pictures, like before and after pictures. I want them to have a white background. So I can actually no, I don't think PicFrame can do that. PicFrame takes like pictures on Instagram, you can move them around in your stories to make any picture fit, right? It could be a square that fits or a rectangle, but you can't necessarily move them side to side. PicFrame is how you get the perfect frame around your Instagram picture if you were using something like an outside picture to put in there. Pick, Play, Post, I use that for templates, meaning like I had all of my girls take pictures with their Transform 20 stickers. And then I uploaded like pictures into a collage, And it did the transitions for me and made this really, really, really cool slideshow. I didn't have to do anything to make it happen. So again, I don't use that daily, but it was something really easy and really quick, and I just added them in there, and it made it work. Story art, I've never used story art. It's from one of your leaders, but it's how to make cohesive. Cohesive means your stories all look the same. Cohesive story designs and highlights. People are asking, how do I make the highlight pictures on my Instagram? So like to do highlights. This is not a training on highlights. Go Google how to do Instagram highlights. But how to make the pictures, you can do that in story art. Okay, so I just wanted to give that to you guys so that you had that. Video Shop is what I use. It's a little complicated. I'm just going to be very honest. It's a video editor. It's how I add, what do you call it? Music, my own music over, not Instagram music, but like my own 15-second clips over you guys' diamond pictures and star diamond pictures. I always use the same song, and I put it in Video Shop. It's how I trim both my like turbo photo videos where I put multiple video clips together. You could use iMovie and stuff like that, but Video Shop for me has been something that I've used, but it took a little bit of practice, so I just want to be aware, and it's not free. I do not know how much these cost. I'm not telling you these are free. I'm just telling you these are what we use. And then one of your leaders suggested Unfold. And again, that is another one just like story art that makes your reusable stories, like your calls to action and things like that, flow and look similar, okay? So I wanted to give these to you guys, not to overwhelm you, but to say it every once in a while. Another one is Mojo, M-O-J-O. And again, Brittany Leggett uses it a lot. Monica Lopez, Christina Delgado, Stephanie Chico, they use it. I looked at it, got scared, and ran the other direction. I'm just gonna be honest. And there's a lot of apps that will do that to you. So what I wanna share with you guys, the last thing, there's a lot of things, Hyperlapse. Sorry, Canva. Yes, Canva is another good one to make templates on. But what I always say is if something is overwhelming and you need it, learn how to do it. If something is overwhelming and you don't really need it, it's just accessory, move on, right? Especially if you don't have a lot of time. If you don't have a lot of time, the most important thing that you can do are those 10 basics and then adding in some fun things every once in a while. But I just pray that this is something that shows you that there's endless possibilities. How did I learn all of this? I learned it by hearing through the grapevine and trying it. Seeing if it was something I liked and discarding it if it wasn't. You know what I mean? Like that's all I ever did. Playing around with all the buttons, trying things. Instead of scrolling on Facebook or Instagram looking at what other people are doing, I'd find an app and go in there and dissect it. I'd watch YouTube videos on how to do it. So anyways, with all that said, I hope that makes sense. So is there any, I know it's 10 minutes after, poor Brett, he's like, literally, Allie, this is crazy. I do not feel as though I'm Instagram genius, Jessica, but thank you. I was an Instagram illiterate probably 5 years ago, but I vowed Facebook was stealing my joy. And I loved Instagram, and I just wanted to figure out how to bring people in to my life and realize who the real Allie was through Instagram. And it's hard to be you on Instagram, but stories make it so much easier if you will just give yourself that freedom. So, okay, yay, it was helpful. Oh my gosh. Dun, dun, dun. Is there ever too much fitness stuff? No, I don't. I think it's the season of life that you're in. Like right now, I'm probably a good 50-50 split. I typically don't go more than a 50-50 split of fitness and then daily life and coach life because I don't want people to think that I am all fitness. I work out for 30 minutes a day. I'm not all fitness. I'm so much more than that, right? Even if my life seems quite boring most of the time, people love to see that I'm bouncing from mom life, work life, nails done, take care of myself, mom life, work life. Like they like to see that balance. And so don't ever think that your life is too boring to share, because people will relate to it. So is there any questions I can answer before we hop off? Anything. Dude, if you have 5 kids, your life is far from boring. I promise you, it's far from boring. And there are plenty of other mamas who would love to learn from you. And you got to remember that. People want to learn from you. You don't have to be an expert in something to share it, right? If you're a mom of 5, you've mastered something because you've got 5 of them and they're all still alive. So you're doing better than me because I'm over here barely kicking with 2. So I'd love to learn from you. You know what I mean? What do you know about sleep training? What do you know about all of the things? You know what I mean? So anyways, I digress. I hope this was helpful. Was it helpful? Da-da-da. I hope so. Maybe, maybe, yes, no. I can't see your faces. Hold on. Let's do this. We kept, what, 73? Okay, I gave people permission to hop off. They did good. So this is your call to action today. Look at your notes tonight before you go to bed and just pick 2 things to start tomorrow. Just 2, okay? Don't look at all of it and be like, oh, shite, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this. Just look at 2 and be like, I'm going to try this tomorrow. And it could be 2, start with the basics. If there's something in the basics that you're not doing, like wiping your lens, let's start that tomorrow, okay? If you're like, there's something like finding the light, like, let's start that tomorrow, okay? Go down the list of the basics first. If there's something that you're not doing, start there, okay? The color wheel, if you go into the first 30 training, it is in unit 1, 2, 3, 6 or 7 on social media. So if you go to the first 30 training that we have for our team, if you're not in there, just chat with your coach. In the first 30 training, it's unit 6-ish, but just look for the social media unit. And it will be the actual plain graphic will be there, but I will make sure that I post the graphic that I had on this PowerPoint in the event page for you guys too. So yay! I love you. I love you. If you took pictures, tag me. Boomerang. Who's gonna do the boom? Who's gonna do the boom? On the count of 3. Everybody fix your face. 1, 2, 3. That was my spirit fingers. Did you see that? Did you see that? That was good. Ta-ta! I'm gonna look like I'm flying. It was great. I love you guys. I hope this helped. I can't wait to see you guys put it into action. Mwah. Next week is a Push to Emerald Coach Charge, which is not just for Emerald. So we're going to be doing that next week. I'll have more on that probably on Wednesday. We'll talk about that in the Big Team page. I love you guys. Bye.